Okay, so the Gordie Howe Bridge is set to open on Monday, July 27th. And both sides of the border were supposed to have a ceremony to kick off the bridge, I guess. But the ceremony's been called off, and for good reason as well. And if you don't know about it, Taco Tuesday has threatened to put 50% tariffs on Canada, again. And I read somewhere that it's probably going to be in effect in about 4 weeks, so that means it's like 3.5 weeks for him to taco. Oh, I want to show an amazing burn by BC Premier when he's talking about the United States. I posted this on my Substack, but I will show it here as well.
I feel sorry for Americans. If you can't be friends with Canada, then you almost certainly do not have a friend anywhere in the world. And that is a very lonely place to be.
Ouch. That's a pretty big burn if you ask me. But it's kind of true. Like, what allies does the United States have right now around the world, besides Israel? Which I don't even think that's solid anymore. But I've been reading on social media from the right that Canada is being petty because we're not inviting them to the ceremony. I mean, Canada's still having the ceremony. It's just going to be on our side. But after the orange whoopee cushion has decided that he's threatening us again with tariffs, and even tariffing our hockey sticks, why should we invite the United States? I mean, if I was at that event and I'm talking to some US government official, like in a suit or something like that, it's going to be an awkward conversation. It's like, hey, congratulations, we opened the bridge. Now, about those tariffs, yeah, it's kind of awkward, isn't it? I mean, it's like having an awkward conversation with someone that you really don't want to talk to. But in this video, I got 2 reports from both sides of the border. And I want to show you the contrast between the 2 reports. Now, before I start, I got a few housekeeping things I want to talk about first. The first one. It has come to my attention again, and I say again because my Reddit moderator, Tani, told me about this a long time ago, but I didn't do anything about it. I know she's going to read me out later. I deserve it. But more and more people are telling me about this website, and it's guardtheleaf.creator-spring.com, and someone's selling merchandise with my logo. And I'm here to tell everybody that I have no association with this website. It's not me. It's not me creating these shirts. So if anybody comes across any websites that say they sell Guard the Leaf merch, it's not me. This website here is just somebody trying to make money off my brand. So if you do come across this page, do not buy from them, because it's not me. But I will soon have my own merch store up and running. So until I make the official announcement, any sort of merchandise that you see for Guard the Leaf on the internet, it's just going to be a copycat. So just wait for me to make my announcement. I know people wanted like co-host shirts and stuff like that. And like a co-host mug and like a co-host hat. What about Guard the Leaf? Anyways, just wait for my official word on when the merch store will be up and running. Oh, and at the end of the video, I got a message for everyone. It's a really humble thank you message for everyone that supported me. And I have to acknowledge one of our viewers at the beginning of my video. His name is Guard Dan. He messaged me on Discord a little while ago, and here's his message. Sorry I haven't been seeing your videos lately because I was in a big car accident that I broke my neck in 2 places and almost died. I have some brain damage and sometimes can't focus. But one thing I do is watch you now. Well, Gardan, first thing I want to say is I wish you a speedy recovery, and I'm glad you are still alive. And to me, your recovery is more important than watching my videos. I really appreciate it, but I really feel that you should focus on your recovery. But if my videos help your recovery, then I'm glad I can help. So I wish you a speedy recovery, Gardan, and thank you for supporting my channel. Let's talk more on Discord. Messages like these I'm getting. I'm getting hundreds of them from the community. It has really humbled me. And I'm going to talk about that more later in the video. I don't want to be rambling in the beginning. So let's get started with the reports.
Yes, Shana Terrence, in a statement released earlier tonight, a spokesperson for the Canadian Infrastructure Minister said that it would be inappropriate to proceed with a celebration between the 2 countries, and this is yet another controversial day in what has been a rocky few years between the 2 countries over this bridge.
Now, I made the mistake of going onto Twitter, and I was actually trying to sort out to see if I can get a hold of Team YouTube. That's a different story. But I did a search on the Gordie Howe Bridge, and the amount of US citizens, mostly on the right I'm assuming, who say Canada is being petty because we're not inviting them to the party or the ceremony. It just made me realize how deep into the Taco Tuesday Kool-Aid that his supporters are. Because all the responses I saw, they conveniently ignore the 50% tariffs that he's threatening on us again. And if they do acknowledge it, they would say Canada is ripping them off, with no evidence of us actually ripping them off. But ignoring the low IQ people, Canada has every right not to participate in this with the United States. I mean, would you go to a party with a bully that, like, hours before just threatened you with tariffs? That doesn't make any sense. And I know in my past videos, some people have said that Canada needs to be the bigger country, the one that people look up to, and the one that sets the example, and that we shouldn't stoop down to their level. But in my opinion, saying no is not stooping down to the level. It's standing up for ourselves.
We are feeling the brunt of all the continuing fluctuation in tariff policy, the chaos that has been coming out of Washington, D.C.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer is one of many leaders, both on the American and Canadian sides of the Detroit River, who are now voicing their frustrations after President Trump imposed a 50% tariff on a range of Canadian goods just days after he blamed our northern neighbor for their response to wildfires that blanketed the Midwest in smoke.
He wants to continue threatening, and he's nothing but a bully. That's all he is. And you have to stand up to the bullies in the schoolyard, or they end up taking your lunch money. And we are going to continue fighting like we've never fought before.
Now, in my last video when I was talking about Doug Ford, I agree with him on this. We can't let the schoolyard bully us around. But that might be the only thing I agree with when it comes to Doug Ford. Now, I don't know him very much. I mean, he's not my premier. I just get some sort of vibe from him. But the bridge is supposed to open in 5 days, and we're still having issues with it. And I said before, I'm not going to believe the bridge is going to be open until I see the first car cross. And even then, the bridge can still be closed. But it really shows how the relationship with the United States has gone to shits.
And the tensions between the two countries come just days ahead of the anticipated opening of the Gordie Howe Bridge.
As always, Canadians, governments, business, labor will stand together to build Canada strong and to have a trading relationship with our North American partners that benefits everyone.
The 1.5-mile-long bridge, which spans the Detroit River and connects the Motor City with Windsor, Ontario, is still expected to open to traffic on Monday. And Governor Whitmer said earlier Tuesday that the long-awaited opening will be massively beneficial for Michigan.
I believe that this bridge has always been a great deal for Michigan. It's an important part of building our economy. It is crucial for Homeland Security, so I am very optimistic about what this second span will mean for Michigan, for our economy, and our long-term security.
Notice how this whole report, there's not a single mention that Canada paid for the whole bridge. And throughout her whole speech of whatever she just said, it's all positive economics and stuff and things for Michigan. I don't know, maybe I'm being petty. I mean, maybe I'm being petty because we paid for the whole thing. And Michigan is going to benefit. All while the orange whoopee cushion is still threatening us.
Now, earlier today, Governor Gretchen Whitmer was asked once again if she believes the bridge will be delayed further. She said she sure hopes not. Now, once again, on the other side of the bridge in Canada, they still plan on holding a ceremony for themselves, for the country of Canada. It is unclear as of now if there will be a celebration on this side for the Americans.
Well, I'm pretty sure nobody watching my video right now cares if the United States has a celebration or not. But I want to move on to the next report north of the border from CTV. And they talk about how this was actually a good opportunity for the two countries.
The fact that we're, at this point in time, unable to celebrate the way that we all hoped that we could, that's regretful.
For years, the opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge was expected to be a celebration shared by Canada and the United States. Instead, officials will mark the occasion Friday with a much smaller, Canadians-only event.
In normal times, this would be the type of bridge opening where you would have the president and the prime minister meeting in the middle.
Now, I'm not going to lie, I would not be able to picture Prime Minister Mark Carney and Taco Tuesday meeting in the middle right now. And in fact, if they did, I would actually be a little bit disappointed that Canada didn't cancel out. So I'm glad they did. But like I said earlier, this is not Canada being petty by not having the United States join the opening party. This is Canada standing up for itself. And it's definitely inappropriate to have the United States in a joint opening ceremony.
Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkin says the ongoing trade dispute and rhetoric from U.S. President Donald Trump have taken away what should have been a historic binational celebration.
It certainly puts a damper on what would otherwise be a very momentous occasion.
Former Windsor West MP Brian Massey says while he understands the reasoning, he wishes allies from both sides of the border could have celebrated together.
This was an opportunity for us to unite beyond the politics and remember the struggle to get this far.
Now, I totally understand. I mean, a lot of people put a lot of work into this bridge on both sides of the border. I mean, I think it started in 2012, they said? But the nostalgia of the partnership and the camaraderie of building this bridge and all the pain and struggles, to be honest, it doesn't hold much weight these days. And it actually pains me to say that because I'm assuming there's a lot of workers on both sides of the border that were collaborating with each other. And I'm sure they would want to celebrate the opening together. But as Mark Carney said, nostalgia is not a strategy, and to me, nostalgia is also going to keep Canada vulnerable. Because if we keep remembering how the good times were, if you ask me, I mean, this is just my opinion. If we continue that mindset, then Canada will continue to be taken advantage of.
Conservative Windsor West MP Harb Gill also calls the decision disappointing, but says the focus shouldn't stay on the ceremony.
We build these projects to attract investment, create jobs, improve productivity, and grow our economy.
Political analyst Lydia Miljan says the unusual circumstances reflect an unusual period in Canada-U.S. relations.
Well, we're really in unprecedented times. We have never had this type of flip-flop when it comes to like you say, a major piece of infrastructure.
Across the river,
I don't need to attend a ribbon cutting. I'm completely unconcerned about going to a photo op.
Detroit Regional Chamber President Sandy Barua says the politics surrounding the ceremony are secondary.
The most important thing is to get this piece of international infrastructure that was paid for fully by our friends on the Canadian side of the border.
Well, I actually appreciate that he did mention it. I mean, the whole report earlier that I did, they didn't even have one mention of that.
Opened and usable for companies in North America.
He says once traffic begins moving, the bridge will do exactly what it was built to do: strengthen trade and create opportunity on both sides of the border.
What the new bridge, the Gordie Howe Bridge, does is that it helps accelerate commerce and business opportunities on both sides of the border.
While opinions differ on how opening day is being celebrated, there appears to be broad agreement on one thing. Getting the Gordie Howe International Bridge open to traffic is what matters most for the future of the Windsor-Detroit corridor.
Now, assuming that it does open in 4 days or 5 days, I mean, hell, that's a lot of time for Taco Tuesday to, wake up on the wrong side of the bed or something. My biggest question I have right now is what's going to happen to the Ambassador Bridge? Now, for us Canadians that are boycotting the United States, the Gordie Howe Bridge is not going to be that big of a deal for us. But for the Canadians that do have to cross into Michigan for work, or those that are visiting family, or the commercial traffic that does use the Ambassador Bridge. Wait, does the Ambassador Bridge take commercial? Oh yeah, it does. I'm thinking the tunnel, sorry. But my biggest question is, what's going to happen to the Ambassador Bridge? Are people going to actively avoid it? I have had some Canadian truckers that emailed me a while ago saying that they are waiting for the Gordie Howe Bridge to open, because they're tired of giving money to the Ambassador Bridge owner, the billionaire guy. And some even said that they were actually going up to Sarnia, which I'm not really too familiar with the area, but I was told it's pretty far. So when the Gordie Howe Bridge does end up opening up, it's going to be interesting to hear reports on the current status of what's happening at the Ambassador Bridge. For me, now that there's another option, I hope everybody boycotts the Ambassador Bridge. But I'm pretty sure we're going to hear about it a few months after the Gordie Howe Bridge does eventually open up. So let me know your thoughts and comments below. And also, if you know anybody that still needs to go to Detroit, whether for work or commercial reasons or family, I'm curious to hear what their feedback is. Are they going to be using the Gordie Howe International Bridge? Let us know in the comments below. To close out this video, I'd like to thank Glenn for sending me this photo of the Gordie Howe Bridge as well as the Ambassador Bridge that I just showed earlier. A few months ago, when I did a video on the Gordie Howe Bridge, I called out to the community to see if anybody in the area could help me take some photos. Glenn, as well as many others, took some time out of their busy schedules to help me out. So I want to thank you, Glenn, as well as everybody else who has sent me photos of the Gordie Howe Bridge. It's really appreciated. Which leads me to my message to the community, which is going to be thanking everybody. And I have a feeling I'm going to be doing this a lot in my videos moving forward. It's been a rough, 4.5 days now. And I've already kind of accepted that the Guard the Leaf channel is not going to be monetized. I mean, I'm going to continue fighting, but I have to think realistically as well. And it's just how YouTube is. I mean, I'm sick and tired of speaking to AI. I can't tell if I'm speaking to AI or a real person when it comes to YouTube support. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just diversifying, making sure my footprint is everywhere. Just in case my channel does disappear, I want to make sure everybody has a way to at least reach me or continue viewing my content. And at least making sure the GTL community still continues. And one of the things I'm doing, I'm making my presence on Substack. Because worst case scenario, if my channel on YouTube does disappear, I can continue on Substack. I can upload videos there, I can chat with people, and we can just continue. Obviously, I wouldn't have the reach of YouTube, but the community will still be there. So I would highly recommend that everyone sign up for my Substack. You don't have to pay. I mean, paying is optional if you want. But even if you just subscribe, you'll get my daily newsletters. And what I've been doing, and I think what I'm going to do is whenever I post a video up, I'm going to follow it up with an article. Because there's lots of stuff that I always forget to say in my videos. So signing up for a free Substack account and subscribing to my page, at least you'll know you'll have a way to get a hold of me in case anything happens. But it hasn't even been 24 hours since I announced my demonetization. And the community, you guys have stepped up, and it's really appreciated. I honestly did not know how the community would react to my channel update video. And I was talking to Prof K on the side, and I was like, he saw my video first, because I ran it through him just to see if it would be okay. And he knows that I kept making modifications to it, because I just didn't feel confident that my message was sincere. I don't know how else to describe it. I just didn't want people to think that I was begging for help. But it hasn't even been 24 hours yet, and I'm overwhelmed with all of the comments and all of the contributions and just messages of support from everybody. For those of you who have contributed to my Buy Me a Coffee page, I still haven't had time to be able to read through all the comments, but I will read through every single one. And that I promise. But it made me realize how foolish I would have been to give up on this channel. And that would have been me giving up on this community as well. Because when I needed help, hundreds, if not almost thousands of you stepped up. Whether it was just a donation or a contribution, or even just subscribing to my Substack, making sure that we're still in contact. I mean, hell, I think my Substack subscription went from 200 or 300 people all the way up to 2,800 in less than 24 hours. But the GTO community has shown me they have my back. And even when I feel I don't deserve it, hundreds, maybe thousands of you stepped up. I don't know, maybe I have a self-confidence issue. I still feel like I don't deserve the attention. But viewers like Glenn and the others that sent me photos of the bridge and took time out of their busy schedule to help me. Or those that are sending me links and articles to help me in terms of my research time. And everyone else helping me with the backdrops for our videos. It made me realize I don't have to do this thing alone. So I went from 72 hours of pure defeat and feeling like I'm done, to a wave of humbleness in terms of the support I've been getting. So I do want to thank the community as well as the encouragement for me to continue on. And I thank everybody who supported my channel, not just with contributions, but also just words of encouragement, telling me that you look forward to my videos every morning. And as Red says in every one of my videos, let us commence forth, my friends. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international point of view, without the US media bias, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you'll be notified of my future videos. And if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that are going to show up on your screen shortly. Thanks everyone. I'll catch you in the next one.